An almost new 60-metre superyacht sinks in the Aegean Sea. But why did this new $40 million technologically advanced superyacht sink? Why did she continue sailing in force 8 winds despite weather warnings? Why was she sailing at almost maximum speed in these conditions? Why was the yacht allowed to turn her stern to the seas? There are many unanswered questions. Superyacht Yogi was built as hull number NB49 at ProTactic Turquoise, now known as Turquoise Yachts, and delivered in April 2011. She took 3 years to build. Yogi was the second superyacht built, coming after the earlier launch of motor yacht Turquoise. She measured 60.2 meters or 197.5 feet, with a gross tonnage of 1,028. She was built to MCA rules and also the French Registry safety standards, and was classed by the American Bureau of Shipping as A1 and AMS standards. In order to avoid dirt and exhaust gas bellowing out of the top of the vessel, the main exhaust outlet of each engine was underwater, known as a wet exhaust. To avoid back pressure, the exhaust had seawater injection. The exhaust was designed to prevent the seawater to flood the exhaust when the vessel was reversing. Yogi was described as a voluminous yacht with an impressive 9.4 metre or 30 feet beam, providing plenty of communal public spaces and private areas for the guests to enjoy. Motor Yacht Yogi will be able to accommodate up to 12 charter guests, a charter website said, in 6 luxurious cabins, including a master suite located on the main deck with a private lounge area, office dressing room, and his and hers bathrooms, a VIP cabin, 3 double cabins, and 1 twin cabin. Motor Yacht Yogi was the first superyacht to be registered under a new RIF French flag system, the French International Register. Most yachts are commonly registered in Cayman Islands, Isle of Man, Madeira, and so on. But to try and encourage owners, France had just built up dedicated regulations for pleasure vessels engaged in trade, more than 24 meters in length, with a load line of under 3,000 gross tons. Yogi's case was given a special importance, being the first to be examined. On the 31st of March 2011, Yogi was inspected by 4 members of the French Flag State Authority and a navigation license issued. The vessel had no VDR. VDR is a voyage data recorder similar to that found on commercial aircraft, as it was not compulsory for a vessel of this size. The insured value of Motor Yacht Yogi was $39 million US. Yogi would be available for luxury Mediterranean yacht charters at a rate of between €357,000 per week in the low season and up to €378,000 per week in the high season. On 15th of February 2012, Yogi sailed from Tuzla in Turkey to Istanbul for bunkering with 8 crew on board. The vessel was not fitted with stability analysis software, so the captain carried out stability calculations on paper. They bunkered 25,000 litres of fuel. On the 16th of February at 06:15 hours, they set sail for Cannes, France, with a pilot on board. The captain's weather report stated wind north-northwest 5 to 6 knots with 35 knot gusts, swells 2 to 2.5 metres high. At 18:30 hours, they finished navigating the Dardanelles Straits and dropped off the pilot. The vessel was operating normally at this time. The following is based on the recollections of the captain, as told to the CEO of the shipbuilders shortly after his rescue. The captain said they were navigating at 14 knots. After having a southwesterly route, the vessel was heading at 185 degrees, speed made close to 14 knots. Note that the top speed of Yogi was 16 knots. According to the crew, the engines were running at 60% of the maximum load. There were strong winds and 3-meter waves. Suddenly, the starboard engine exhaust bellows punctured due to heat, and I stopped the engine. The engine got overheated because they were going in and out of the waves. There must have been air that blocked the cooling water to the engine. So whilst the engineers investigated the issues with the starboard engine, the boat was running on one engine and still making way, but at reduced speed. Then the port engine overheated. and I stopped that engine too. So now the boat was adrift in 30 knot winds and 3-meter waves. The captain said, "The yacht turned aft into the waves while we were busy with the engines. The aft starboard side watertight beach club door blew open and a lot of water entered." But in a different conversation, he told another person from the build's shipyard that the port side watertight door blew open. So which was it? Then they took the filter off the second engine and restarted it and began navigating with one engine, but the captain could get no response from the rudder. The crew went to investigate the rudder compartments and found them flooded. He said they couldn't go to the emergency rudder compartment either, on the port side of the beach club above the rudder compartment, since it was also full of water. This is where they should have been able to control the rudders manually. Then the storm got stronger and bigger waves started. Water invaded the lower beach club and even the main deck. At 0428 hours, a mayday call was made by the captain. As they could no longer steer the vessel and they could not stop the flooding, they were ready to abandon the vessel. What follows is dramatic footage of the crew being rescued by a Greek search and rescue helicopter. After the first person was rescued, the search and rescue team deemed it too dangerous to land a man on the vessel, so they rescued the rest of the crew from the water. The captain's story left many unanswered questions, such as, how did the boat get turned around so the stern was facing the waves? Did the captain leave the bridge unattended to help investigate the issues with the engines? With generators, he could have engaged bow and stern thrusters to try to keep the boat facing the waves. How could a dogged watertight hatch or door blow open? Why was Yogi travelling at near top speed in force 7 conditions? What about the redundant pumping system on board? Why couldn't it be used to empty the emergency rudder compartment? And how could such a brand new, sophisticated vessel with 8 watertight compartments and lots of watertight doors, which were inspected, tested and approved by the ABS, continue to flood for hours, given the crew had those hours and resources at hand? And what of the owner? What did he think of the sinking? Yogi was owned by Stéphane Corby, a wealthy Frenchman who'd made big news in France because of a controversial sum of 143 million euros he'd borrowed from the L'Oréal heiress Liliane Bettencourt. French authorities had ruled the aging Miss Bettencourt, who was suffering from Alzheimer's, incapable of making such a major investment decision, a finding that had put Corby under highly publicised pressure to give the money back. In part 2 we will look to answer these questions, and we will look at the official report produced by the flag state to see what answers, or maybe more questions, it provides. What do you think happened here? Let's discuss in the comments. If you have information about this incident, maybe you know someone who was on board, maybe it was you who was on board, and you want to talk, get in touch. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe for more to come.